Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I do apologize, this one is a bit loosely slapped together. It's a bit of an impulse buy on my way home from work today. But today I'm going to be installing the King's Osram 7-inch LED spotlights there. So let's jump into it. Okay, let's see what you actually get in the box. So these are the King's 7-inch Osram driving lights. So just got the kit with the harness and the actual lights included as well. So let's see what we actually get with that. Haven't actually opened these yet, so it should be interesting. So these are the driving lights, and get this box out. There we go, so that's those there. Now part of the reason I went for the 7-inch instead of the 9-inch, I just don't do that much night driving. So I figured these would be perfectly adequate, and I figured the 9 inches are probably going to look a little bit big on the front of the T60, especially with the single loop bill bar as well. So they look pretty decent, got a good bit of weight to them. So got some good air cooling fins all around the back, and just a little quick connect plug. So that works with their harness as well. Part of the reason I went for that. Apparently steel brackets at the bottom, so that'll be handy. What else do you get? Just a couple of mounting screws there. So that's just to get that one mounted down. We have a look at the harness. Now this is the bit that should make your life a little bit easier. Although I can't imagine it's necessarily going to work with the T60 in total. What else is there? There we go. Okay, so included in the harness, looks like you got a power and an earth. You got a switch there just to run inside the cab. I'm not always a big fan of square switches. The main reason for that just being they're much harder to actually find a hole for. Especially if you're doing your dashboard or anything, it's much easier to just drill a nice round hole than what it is trying to carve a square hole out of your dashboard. That's a little quick connect plug there, which seems to run to this. So I presume this one runs towards the headlights. Light 1, light 2. This one runs back to your actual wiring harness. Okay, just having a quick sort of look about what I want to run where. Now this is the harness that actually runs to the lights themselves. So you've got the two output ports there. You've got the import one there. So that's going to sit roughly in this sort of region. Now with the actual main harness, so this one seems to have quite a lot of additional cord here. So firstly, I've got the power supply, that's going to go on the positive on the battery. Negative supply, that's going to go on the negative on the battery, or any other sort of earthing point on the ute. And all that means is any screws that make direct contact with the body, you can actually use those. But considering I'm close to the battery, I'm just going to connect straight onto that one. Apart from that, you've got 3 other cords that do run off this. So first one being, this is the connector that's going to run to the lights harness. So that one is going to run up to here. Those two will simply connect together. Next one up, this one is the on-off switch sensing wires for this one. Now normally this is the one that would run to your actual lights. As we mentioned, we can't connect this one to the LDV's headlights because we don't have the correct adapter. So what I'm going to do is this one, I'm going to use that little fuse switch of mine. I'm going to connect that up to the fuse box and we'll draw power from there. Now last but not least, now this one's where I'm going to take a little bit of a shortcut. Now legally speaking, you do need to have an on-off switch that sits inside the cabin. So your driving lights will actually be working off your headlights themselves and turning on and off. But you do need an additional switch so that when your high beams are on, you can actually turn them off manually yourself. Now I'm going to cheat. I'm not going to worry about running this one all the way through to the cabin. I will show you guys where you actually need to run that through if you do want to do that. But I'm going to tie this one up underneath the bonnet. I can still do it if I do get tired on a long drive. I don't want the lights anymore or anything. I can simply pull over and actually hit the switch myself there. But as I said, I'm not going to run this into the cabin. I just don't feel the need for it. So let's show you where that's going to run through the cabin first, and then we'll get to starting to wire all this up. Okay, for those of you that do actually want to run the switch through to the inside, I'm just going to try and get a bit of access. You can just about make it out right on the back there. I'll try and point at it. Just right on the back there, you can see there's a rubber grommet. Now, if you take out this little back box here, it does give you a little bit of better access to that. And that accesses through to the back of your glove box. So the best way to do that, I would recommend, is if you take this actual switch off, just disconnect those 3 connectors there, tape them up. I think I taped mine to the back of a chopstick, but a wire coat hanger or something like that works great as well. And then you can push that through the wire grommet. Once you can reach it on the inside, you can pull the rest of this cable through, and you can then mount that switch any way you like. Now, if you're not comfortable cutting into the actual dashboard to try and mount a square switch, you can try and locate a round switch if that works for you as well. It doesn't have to be this one in particular. Alternatively, just tape it up underneath or zip tie it up just underneath your dashboard, and you can just simply access it there and then actually turn it on and off if you have to. It doesn't have to be mounted, it's just legally it has to be inside the cabin. Okay, so as a lot of you see, this is what I've sort of wrapped up together, just as there is so much cable here. Now, for most of you guys, this will be perfectly fine. You can do this. For me, however, this is annoying the hell out of me. So just do bear with me for a minute, and I'm just gonna shorten all these ones up for a bit. So as I said, that whole wiring harness with all of this extra stuff was just way too much for me to deal with. So I've just gone through, I've just cut into those ones, soldered them back up again, and just made everything a bit more of a reasonable length. Just about what I need for that one. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with this one just yet. I might need to connect that earth. I'm just trying to find that out at the moment. Just can't be bothered with trial and error. So once again, the LDV page is coming in handy for me. So we'll jump across to the ute, see how much light we've got left, and we'll see where this needs to go. Okay, as you can tell, I'm running out of daylight there a little bit, so just bear with me. This is mostly just where I'm going to be mounting everything up. There's predominantly going to be a lot of zip tying. One thing I will mention is hold off on connecting any of your power cords. Negatives are okay, but any of the red positives, connect those ones as the very last thing, because that way you don't not working with live wires and you have to worry about shorting anything out. So first off, we're just going to attach this relay. Now I'm just going to use a tech screw, which is self-tapping metal screw. It's not ideally recommended, but I'm going to screw that into the side of the ute just there. Make sure there's no cables behind it. Later on, if I get time to get around to it, I'll just use a bit of rust treatment on that just to prevent that from rusting there. Okay, just to give you guys a quick idea of where we're at so far. So I've connected the power cord to the positive on the battery. The negative cord, that was the thick V-shaped one that came out, that's connected to the negative of the battery here. Now the one that was originally designed to connect up to the headlights, which I have cut off, so I've put a shortcut for that one. Now there's 4 fuses that sit along this channel, all 15 amp blue fuses. The top 2 are for your low beam, the bottom 2 are for your high beam. So what I've done is I've used that fuse connector and I've tapped into the high beam line there, and that runs back all the way up to the relay. And then the little negative wire that comes off that, I've connected that one up to the battery. All the rest of the wiring, the original switch for the to be able to turn the lights on and off remotely, I'm just going to leave that sitting in the front here. As I said, I'm not going to run that through into the cabin. If I do get a defect eventually, I might do that then, but I've never had any issues, so I'm going to let mine sit there. The headlight wires, everything is zip tied as much as I can all the way along here. Zip tie is always the best idea. You're never going to regret it unless you need to take it out. So that runs through just past the radiator there, keeping everything away from the lines, keeping everything away from actually touching the radiator itself. And then we come through into the front Once again, keeping off the radiator, zip tying as much as you can. And I've just used the back of the actual LDV sign here just to try and zip tie the whole cluster of that together, as the headlights themselves do actually have a bit of cable connected to them. So one cable connector sits over there, that's as much as I've got there, and the other one sits right here. So I think next up we'll actually get the headlights themselves installed, and then we'll tuck those through, and it's pretty much just plug and play from here on. Okay, first things first, I'm just going to connect up these spotlight mounting brackets. As I mentioned, these are the ones from Supercheap, so we'll get those ones on and then we'll crack on. Okay, last time just to give everything a quick once over. So all my cables are nicely tidied up in the back here, zip tied so nothing can move around too much or rub on anything else. Just gave these spotlights a good little bit of a tighten up. It's not the final tighten, so what I'll do now is I'm going to go for a drive, see where they do actually find myself a nice big car park, and make sure that I'm happy with the placement, because you can actually go up, down, left, right. Make sure they're actually shining in front of me to start off with. Once again, just have a look over anything in the engine bay, make sure you haven't left any tools in there. And just make sure that all of your wiring connections are nice and tight and fully secured, because especially if you're not comfortable with it, a lot of people will temporarily just attach something and then completely forget about it afterwards. So just make sure you check over all that. And then let's go see what these things can do. Hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. As I said, it is a bit slapped together, so sorry if some of it doesn't make sense. But let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has or help you out with anything you might need to know there. But yeah, stay tuned, like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing a camping video next.